As the story unfolds, we see our boy Hanho frantically running up the stairs, looking for safety. Nope. Bae has other plans. He's met with a blood-chilling sight. Poor guy can barely catch his breath when suddenly he hears a spine-chilling scream. Yep, it's bad. Real bad. Seongwu, our cool-headed necromancer, steps in with his skeleton crew. Hanho looks like he's about to pass out, but Seongwu? Totally chill. They're my bodyguards, he says casually, like it's no big deal that he's rolling with an undead squad. Hanho's eyes are as big as saucers, but Seongwu's just getting started. Hey Hanho, what job did you pick? Seongwu asks, probably hoping for something useful. Hanho sheepishly admits that he chose thief. Out of all the job classes, this dude picks thief? Seongwu's face says it all. Oh, and it's a 1-star rank. Classic Hanho. As they make their way downstairs, Seongwu's squad activates a special synergy. Dagger Thief, level 1, boosts their attack and gold collection rate. Honestly, I'm starting to think Seongwu's skeletons could probably open a savings account at this rate with all the gold they're collecting. Hanho is confused by all these RPG-like buffs popping up, but Seongwu explains that synergy means better teamwork and bigger rewards. It's like Seongwu is explaining teamwork in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Not just humans get synergy, my undead pals do too. Seongwu has a moment of realization. His necromancer card was the ultimate pick. I've chosen well, he thinks to himself, and now they're off again, heading deeper into the school, preparing for whatever comes next. What's that sound? Goblins. A lot of them, just when they thought they had a moment to breathe. Nope. Whole squad of goblins, and this time, they're led by the big guy, the goblin chieftain. Hanho is trembling. Is that guy a boss? Seongwu's face says it all. Time for the real showdown. As the goblin boss flexes his muscles, Seongwu's smell of death ability kicks in. The goblins are immediately weakened by the presence of Seongwu's skeleton crew. The skeletons begin their attack. Seongwu's squad cuts through the goblins like a hot knife through butter. Kicking, slashing, and clawing, these skeletons are not here to play, and Seongwu's just watching it all unfold, like he's directing his own personal action movie. Ugh, they're amazing. Hanho shouts in disbelief as he watches the skeletons take out goblins left and right. But it's not over yet. The goblin chieftain is still looming over them, looking way too confident for someone standing in front of a bunch of skeletons. Seongwu knows the real challenge has just begun. Things are about to get wild. The goblin chieftain winds up his massive fist, preparing to land a devastating punch. The goblin chieftain activates his special ability, Wild Madness. Flames engulf his fists, and you can almost hear the dramatic music playing in the background as his power skyrockets. Our trusty sidekick suggests something pretty smart for once. Run away. But Seongwu, being the hero or stubborn that he is, decides to wait. He's got a plan forming, but will it work? Seongwu realizes he's got a little ace up his sleeve, his skeleton minions. These undead soldiers move according to his will. Time to show that goblin chieftain who's boss. The light bulb moment. Seongwu's figured out exactly what he needs to do. With his glowing necromancer powers at full charge, he unleashes his skeletons for an all-out attack. In the heat of the battle, Seongwu's skeleton warriors go head-to-head with the goblin chieftain and his cronies. Blood and magic fly across the battlefield. This is the showdown we've all been waiting for. Seongwu's skeleton army isn't holding back, and the goblin chieftain's forces are feeling the heat, literally. Each swing of the spear, each blast of energy, brings Seongwu one step closer to victory. And just like that, the goblin chieftain falls. Seongwu stands triumphant with his skeletons. Finally, some good news. Loot. After all the hard work, Seongwu and his squad get some well-deserved items from the fallen goblin chieftain. One new item in particular catches his eye, the Essence of the Wild bracelet, which boosts his allies' attack speed. We start with Seongwu, reviewing his new skill, Wild Madness, a buff that enhances his goblin-type soldiers' attack power and speed by 10% and 20% respectively. He's clearly impressed with this new toy and smiles as he reflects on the spoils he's acquired from his latest battle. His loyal skeleton minion, looking as menacingly cute as ever, stands by, ready for orders. Seongwu, with a calm demeanor, compliments his little skeletal soldier with a simple, well done. The skeleton responds with an unsettling yet oddly charming grin, causing a brief moment of awkwardness. Hanho, looking nervous as usual, can only question, what was that smile just now? Classic Hanho, always rattled by the weirdest things. The story shifts as Seongwu and Hanho move to a new location where a group of students gathers. Seongwu, always tactical, tells his skeletons to stay hidden in a copy room, because let's face it, skeleton minions aren't exactly comforting in a crisis situation. Meanwhile, we see a bunch of frantic students, unsure of what to do, and things are getting tense. Enter the student council. The council leader, with a calm but firm approach, tries to rally the students and keep order. The chaos of the situation is evident, but someone needs to take control. The leader seems confident, but Seongwu, ever the skeptic, isn't entirely convinced this group can manage the growing danger. As the student council leader walks in, we get some background on him. Turns out he's a bit of a notorious flirt, often getting attention from the girls. It's funny how, even during an apocalypse, some reputations never change. Seongwu, though, doesn't seem to care much about this drama. The group's frustration grows as they struggle to find a way out. They've tried breaking the door, but it won't budge. The tension in the room builds as students start raising their voices. Looks like no amount of force is going to help here. It's going to take some serious strategy. A moment of panic strikes when Seongwu and Hanho approach the mysterious door, only to be sharply warned by the blonde-haired guy, who suddenly yells, "Don't touch it." His anger catches everyone off guard. The blonde-haired guy apologizes, explaining that he's just stressed out. His over-the-top sense of duty is making everyone question his motives. Seongwu isn't buying his, "I'm just worried about the students" act, and wonders if this guy is trying to act like a hero for other reasons. Hanho, ever the awkward sidekick, steps up and introduces himself to the group, explaining that he's also chosen a card. The blonde-haired student recognizes that Seongwu and Hanho both have weapons and tells them that since they are armed, they should help protect the rest of the schoolmates. The conversation then shifts when the blonde-haired student asks Seongwu what his role or job is. He skeptically questions if Seongwu can even help and sarcastically asks if he's just a spearman. The blonde-haired guy flexing his rank as a rank 2 shield warrior. "I've tried everything," he says, like a guy who definitely hasn't tried everything but really wants to sound like he has. As the blonde shield warrior continues his speech, he can't help but brag about how he defeated a goblin, a green one no less. According to him, goblins are way tougher than anyone thinks, especially for a newbie with a weapon. But don't worry, he's a rank 2 shield warrior. Seongwu, of course, is unimpressed, but plays along. The council leader gets serious, stating that there are faint goblin noises coming from upstairs. He instructs the students to hide inside the cafe while he and a few others prepare to guard the entrance. Things are about to heat up, and it's clear that a fight is inevitable. As Seongwu and Hanho approach a glowing locked door, they notice it's sealed with a powerful spell. The door won't open unless the boss monster is defeated. To make matters worse, there's a ticking time limit of 2 hours and 11 minutes. If they fail to take down the monster within that time, the situation will get even more dangerous. Hanho panics, asking if they'll all die if they don't defeat the boss within the given time. Seongwu, always the calm and collected strategist, doesn't have all the answers but knows one thing for sure. They're going to have to fight, and they can't rely on anyone else coming to save them. It's do or die time. The blonde-haired student casually asks Seongwu if he knows Minsu, mentioning that they're classmates. Before Seongwu can reply, Minsu, visibly annoyed, answers with an unhappy, "Yes." Relieved, blonde-haired guy smirks, "Good. I'm so glad to know that my juniors are under my command." As if Seongwu and Minsu ever signed up for that. Meanwhile, Seongwu has a confused look on his face like, "Wait, withstand what, here?" And blonde-haired guy is already flexing his authority. "Got a problem with that, Seongwu?" Seongwu's face screams frustration. He explains the situation. "Dude, there's literally a countdown on the door. You think the rescue team's just gonna waltz in here?" Blonde-hair guy isn't convinced, but Seongwu's patience is running thin. Blonde-hair guy, rallying his internal troops, shouts, "The army will save us all." Seongwu, however, knows better. "That's a pretty vague hope, buddy." Before blonde-hair guy can continue his pep talk, they hear a sound from upstairs. "Go goblins!" Minsu yells, his voice cracking with panic. Goblins are about to crash their party. Seongwu and his group brace themselves for another round of chaos. In the hallway, a swarm of goblins descends. Everyone's panicking, but then Seongwu's army of glowing-eyed skeletons calmly step into action. Blonde-hair guy freaks out, asking, "What the heck is that?" Seongwu casually brushes it off. "Oh, they're with me." As if necromancy is the most normal thing ever, Seongwu offers some wisdom to blonde-hair guy, who's been acting all high and mighty. "I get that you want to be a hero, but walking around with that leader armband is just gonna get people killed." Blonde-hair guy, visibly rattled, asks Seongwu what his role is. Seongwu, his aura glowing with power, simply says, "Something good." Cue the arrival of his next necromancy move, Smell of Death. The goblins are about to regret challenging this necromancer. With Seongwu's new ability triggered, the goblins are hit with a 30% debuff. The air is thick with an eerie glow, and Seongwu's face says it all. The hunt begins. This is no ordinary fight, it's a full-scale goblin takedown. Seongwu's on the hunt, and nothing's gonna stop him now.